Wow, look at that. That was way easier than I thought. Let's go see why my goats are screaming, because I'm very curious why I have screaming goats. Welcome to A Simple Life. I have Merle and Reba here with me, and I wanted to give an update on our beautiful Reba, because she is really big. She's starting to grow up. She's starting to be a really good livestock guardian dog. And what I've started to notice with her is I'm starting to hear her sound off in the middle of the night. It's actually really good. I've actually heard her quite a few times, and I can hear Merle from my place. It's about a half-mile away. I can hear him up here when he starts sounding off at night. I haven't started to hear her yet, but her bark is different than his, quite a bit different than his. Her bark is much more howly. She likes to put a little howl in her bark, which is interesting because Merle doesn't do that as often. He'll do it when he's trying to disrupt coyotes or something like that, but he doesn't do it as frequent. She does it almost all the time. She just puts a little bit of a ho in her bark. She's really starting to come into her own. She's starting to stand up for herself. They're playing, and I mean, you can see she is getting big. Look at her ankles. She's gonna be as big, if not bigger, than Merle. Which I'm not looking for big livestock guardian dogs, but I want them to be big enough to be able to handle themselves. But I figured I'd give you guys an update because, boy, she's just really coming into her own. She's so stinking beautiful. You get him, you get him, you get him, Reba. You tear him up. Oh yeah, Reba, you get him. Oh yeah, you get him. You teach him who's boss. You tell him I'm pretty good at chewing on paws. Merle, you're such a sweet boy. You have no idea the trouble you are in. I'm sorry. She's gonna boss you around for the rest of your life. We are going to get this greenhouse tidied up today. We're gonna finish getting the doors done on it, which they're actually pretty much done. I got a very small amount of work to do to get the doors actually finished. So let me show you what we got here. So I got the plastic on last night. It was too dark to film. I still need to take care of that gap, so you can see that gap that I'm talking about gets nice and small at the top. So I need to adjust the bolts at the top and get that gap so it's this same consistency. Then we're gonna clean out the greenhouse, get everything out of it, get it nice and organized. Then we're gonna work on getting this prepped for planting, because that is gonna happen sooner than I'm ready for, to be quite honest. It's gonna happen real soon because we are already into the beginning of February. So beginning of February, and I should have this done. Like, it needed to be done a month ago, but life happens. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna be adjusting right here. And I basically need to figure out if I want to have the doors in as far as possible or if I want to have them out as far as possible. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna adjust all this. So we're gonna figure that out right now. So to get this door to rotate this way, this actually basically needs to be where it's at. So this one doesn't need to actually move. So they meet up perfectly right in the middle, just like that. We're gonna go to this other side. It looks like I can actually use this top bolt to loosen the whole entire bolt. Wow, look at that. That was way easier than I thought. So I've moved this about 1/4 of an inch. Since these doors are 4x8, it means that down here I've moved it about 1/2 an inch. And if you look, that gap is about half the size that it was. So right here, that gap's about half the size that it was. So let's go up and we'll do the other side and see how that works. But before we do that, let's push this door out like this, like we did on the other side. Hopefully this side will be as easy as that side was. Okay, let's give it a try. So oh, it is. That's nice. Okay. Well, shucky darns. If it ain't pretty much darn near perfect. I mean, that's pretty darn close. We have a little extra material right here. That's what's causing me to have a gap. Now, my dad would say, well, it's good enough. If somebody bends down and starts inspecting it any closer, kick them in the pants. So I'm not gonna kick myself in the pants, but I am gonna trim off that little bit of wood so we get that last little 1/4 inch of closure. But I'm gonna say I think that's pretty stinking good. Doors are up, they're mounted properly. Let's get this cleaned up so we can start getting this prepped for a garden. I have one method I'm gonna try this year that is totally different than I've ever tried before. It's nothing crazy, but I'm gonna use all the old hay and goat manure from the kidding area, and I'm gonna do something with it. It's not gonna be in here. Well, it may be in here, but it won't be in the ground. But I'll show you when I do that. It may be exciting, we'll see. I'm gonna try a couple different methods this year. But let's get this cleaned up, get all the plastic, all the junk, all the metal, get it all out of here so we can actually start tilling this and prepping the ground, getting everything ready for spring. Well, the greenhouse is done. There's probably never completely done, but for now it's done. I need to bring the buggy up and pick up the pile of wood, bark and branches and stuff. Some trash, I need to pick that up with the buggy, but it's done. It does need to be stretched. I need to wait for a nice warm day to stretch it, and that's not today. I can tell you that much. So the next big project that we're gonna be doing, we have two things that we need to do. One thing is I need to run water pipes underground over to the greenhouse from our tank over there, and so that needs to be done, and it needs to be done before we get into actually planting, because once they're planted, you need water. And we're not gonna be doing that using 55-gallon containers, because that's not scalable, and that's a whole lot of waste of time. So that's one project that we need to get done. The other project is I have some logs that need to go over, but the big project, the next really big project that I'm gonna work on is gonna be pruning the whole entire orchard. We're gonna do it a little bit different than typical, but this orchard has been neglected for years, and it's nothing against Herman. He just couldn't do it, and he didn't have people to help him. And I've done a lot of pruning in the few years that I've been helping him, but it's not enough. These trees, I could never catch up with these trees by myself. So we're going to do a slightly different method, but it's going to set us up for success in the future. But for right now, let's go see why my goats are screaming. Oh yeah, somebody's just screaming it up down there. Let's go see. This area I'm walking through right here has actually been used in the past for my goats. The problem is the fencing is not very good. So when I put them in here, I'm kind of forced to fence the whole entire area in. But I'm getting to the place that I'm considering doing that sooner rather than later. All right, let's see. She may have her head stuck in the fence. She's crying like, I know it's a she, because the female goats cry differently than the male goats. The male goats usually have more of a belligerent, what the heck's going on, where the female goats are more like, can you come help me? And I think we have a head stuck in the fence. We do. That's exactly what we have. How'd you get your head stuck in the fence, little one? Yeah? Yeah? It's been a while since I had one of you guys get your head stuck. Oh, it's because you're a little one. You are a little one. You're a yearling. That's why you got your head stuck. All right. I'll help you. Can I help? Can I help you? All right. Here you go, little guy. Little girl. I know you're a girl. Okay, so we're going to turn your head this way. Okay. And get one through. Okay. Get the other one through. And if you use your brains, you can pull your head right out. There you go. Go find the herd. There are a few things in life that are just completely free. Compassion and love and kindness. They're all free. It's a gift that we can just give freely. I try to be as compassionate as possible with animals. We're all free to show our love and our compassion and our kindness and our patience with those around us. Nobody charges us for that. The government, nobody has a patent on those things. There's all things that we can just freely give whenever we want to. All right. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us on A Simple Life.